There are dreams that arrive quietly in childhood and stay for years, like familiar furniture in the mind. They shape identity. They give direction. They offer meaning during long stretches of becoming. And then, sometimes they stop fitting. Not because they were wrong, not because they failed, but because the person who carried them has changed. Outgrowing a dream is rarely dramatic. It doesn't announce itself with certainty. It shows up as discomfort, as restlessness where excitement once lived, as a quiet sense that something meaningful no longer feels honest. People rarely talk about this, because dreams are supposed to be protected, chased, honored. Letting go of one can feel like betrayal, of the past self, of effort already spent, of promises made internally when life felt simpler. So many people stay loyal to outdated dreams, even when they no longer recognize themselves inside them. They keep moving forward out of habit, not desire. Out of identity, not alignment. The psychology of people who outgrow their own dreams is not about failure or ambition. It is about evolution, about the quiet, unsettling moment when growth creates distance from what once defined you. And learning to sit with that distance, without rushing to fill it, is one of the most human experiences there is. This chapter explores the early emotional signs of outgrowing a dream, focusing on subtle dissatisfaction, loss of resonance, and the confusion that comes before clarity. At first, nothing looks different from the outside. The same goals, the same routines, the same language used to describe the future. But internally, something begins to shift. What once felt energizing now feels heavy. The idea that used to spark motivation now creates hesitation. Not resistance exactly, just a lack of emotional response. People often misinterpret this phase. They assume it is burnout, or fear, or laziness. So they push harder. They try to reconnect with the original excitement, revisiting the reasons they once wanted this dream. They remind themselves of how much it used to matter. But the body doesn't respond, because this discomfort is not about effort. It is about mismatch. The dream still exists, but the person has changed internally. Values have shifted. Perspective has widened. Needs have evolved quietly. And yet, letting go does not feel available yet. There is confusion in this stage. Why does something once so meaningful now feel distant? Why does imagining success no longer bring relief? This is the psychological tension of growth without language. The mind searches for explanations, but finds none that feel acceptable. Because society celebrates persistence, not reassessment. Consistency, not internal honesty. So the discomfort is often carried silently, lived privately, questioned internally. This early phase is not the end of a dream. It is the beginning of awareness. But awareness, at this stage, feels like loss rather than clarity. This chapter examines how dreams form early in life, through environment, identity, validation, and survival, and why some dreams were never fully chosen. Dreams rarely emerge in isolation. They are shaped by context, by family expectations, by early praise, by what felt available or admirable at the time. Many dreams begin as solutions, ways to feel worthy, ways to feel seen, ways to escape limitation. A child learns quickly what brings approval, what earns attention, what creates safety or admiration. And from this, a dream forms, not as a lie, but as an adaptation. Some dreams grow from genuine curiosity. Others grow from necessity, from the need to be impressive, useful, or secure. At the time the dream fits, it aligns with who the person is in that moment. But as adulthood unfolds, the internal landscape changes. Experiences add depth. Loss adds complexity. Self-awareness reshapes priorities. And the original dream, built for an earlier version of the self, no longer reflects the current one. This does not make the dream false. It makes it time-bound. Outgrowing a dream often means outgrowing the emotional conditions that created it. The problem is not the dream itself. It is mistaking it for destiny. When identity becomes fused with a goal, change feels dangerous. Because releasing the dream feels like losing the self. This is why letting go is rarely immediate. The dream holds history, effort, meaning, and history is hard to release gently. This chapter explains the psychological mechanisms behind outgrowing dreams, including identity development, cognitive dissonance, and meaning reconstruction. From a psychological perspective, outgrowing a dream often coincides with identity restructuring. Human identity is not fixed. It evolves through stages, experiences, and reflection. When a dream is formed early, it becomes part of self-concept. I am someone who wants this. I am becoming this. But as identity matures, new values emerge. Autonomy, emotional fulfillment, balance, integrity. When a dream no longer aligns with these values, cognitive dissonance appears. The mind experiences tension between who it is becoming and what it is pursuing. This tension is uncomfortable, so the psyche looks for resolution. Some resolve it by doubling down, suppressing doubt. Others resolve it by disengaging emotionally. Neither brings peace, because the dream is no longer integrated with the self. Psychologically, meaning must feel congruent. When it doesn't, motivation collapses. Not out of weakness, but out of coherence. This is why passion cannot be forced back into place. The nervous system resists what feels inauthentic. Outgrowing a dream is often the psyche signaling readiness for a more accurate expression of self. Not bigger, not more impressive, more aligned. This chapter explores the emotional resistance to letting go, fear of wasted time, guilt, shame, and the pressure to stay consistent. Resistance is rarely about the future. It is about the past. How much time was spent pursuing this dream? How many sacrifices were made? How much identity was invested? Letting go can feel like invalidating all of it. There is fear of judgment from others, from the internalized voices that equate change with failure. There is guilt for wanting something different, for not being grateful enough. So people stay longer than they should. They continue moving forward mechanically, hoping alignment will return. But resistance creates stagnation, not because the person lacks discipline, but because desire cannot be commanded. This stage is emotionally exhausting. The self is split between loyalty and honesty, and neither side feels fully right. Outgrowing a dream threatens the narrative of consistency, but consistency without meaning becomes quiet suffering. This resistance is understandable. It protects against regret, but it also delays integration. This chapter focuses on the subtle realization that a dream no longer represents who the person is, and the grief and relief that follow. Realization does not arrive as certainty. It arrives as relief mixed with sadness. There is a moment when honesty becomes unavoidable, when pretending costs more than releasing. The dream is seen clearly, not as a failure but as something complete. It served its purpose. It shaped growth. It led to this version of the self, and now it no longer needs to continue. This realization often brings grief, for the imagined future that will not happen, for the identity that once felt solid. But it also brings lightness, a loosening, the internal struggle quiet, not because answers appear, but because resistance dissolves. This moment reframes the dream as a chapter, not a destination. And that reframing is powerful. This chapter explores how people integrate the meaning of old dreams without immediately replacing them, allowing space for emergence. Integration does not mean replacing one dream with another. It means honoring what was learned, skills gained, resilience built, perspective earned. The dream is absorbed into the self rather than pursued externally. There is space here, uncertainty, possibility, The psyche rests from striving. New desires emerge slowly, without pressure, without obligation. Outgrowing a dream creates room for authenticity, for curiosity without expectation. This stage is quiet, but it is fertile. This final chapter offers a poetic reflection on purpose as something that evolves, fluid, humane, and responsive to growth. Purpose does not need to be permanent to be real. Dreams are not contracts. They are conversations with the self at a particular moment in time. Outgrowing one does not mean losing direction. It means becoming more accurate. Some people are not meant to chase a single dream forever. They are meant to listen, to adjust, to respond to who they are becoming. And when a dream no longer fits, releasing it is not giving up. It is making space for something truer, quieter, and closer to home.